Systems check initiated at 10:15 a.m. HTTP feed active. Aviation weather data from Toronto. Pearson shows clear skies, few clouds at 18,000 feet. RSS feed healthy. Hackers News reports on cyberstrike AI attacks hitting 55 countries. Reddit feed online. Technology subreddit notes Amazon United Arab Emirates data center struck by Iranian drones. Xfeed Live posts about Apple polishing cloth compatibility and AI website building in 2 hours. FileTale stable. Generator idle for demo show. Relay streaming to YouTube with 4.69 seconds progress. YouTube live chat quiet. No recent comments. Full stack passes. All sources green. Ready for main programming. Now switching to ad break news, where global headlines peddle themselves as the hottest new products, because why report when you can retail the truth?
Strikes on Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, right? IAEA confirmed. Buildings damaged. No radiological mess, but the fear factor is off the charts as of today. Oil prices surging. S&P 500 tumbling 900 points on Dow futures. Everybody's stocking up on gas, generators, survival kits. That's pure market panic. Premium demo of anxious suburbanites with deep pockets ready to impulse buy security. Trump warning weeks of escalation. Shares in free fall. This is earned media gold. The narrative of global uncertainty writes itself. Billions in play.
Imagine a world where Iran's missiles rain down on Qatar's airport, only to be swatted from the skies by air defenses, as Tehran vows to torch any tanker daring the Strait of Hormuz, while oil prices climb and markets shudder. Now imagine you did not have to watch. Enter Stillwater Sentinel, our premier risk insulation subscription, delivering real-time reroutes for your shipments via proprietary satellite analytics and elite maritime consults, proven in clinical market trials to preserve 98% of portfolio value amid escalation. Discerning traders rely on it, quietly. Side effects may include indifference to the 6 United States soldiers lost at Kuwait's base. Coverage excludes vessels in the firing line.
Dow Jones plunging 1,100 points, S&P 500 in free fall, oil surging on this Iran Strait of Hormuz blockade bullshit, bonds tanking as yields spike, pure panic sell-off at 10:18 a.m. Forget shorting this mess. Load up on Best Buy right now. They missed holiday sales revenue but beat earnings. That is bottom feeder gold while markets puke. Remember, I loaded calls on AES at 17% down last week. It doubled my genius overnight. I am daring you cowards. Best Buy hits $80 by close. Bet against me and watch your portfolio light on fire. Do it now.
As of 10:19 this morning, footage verified by the BBC shows large explosions across multiple sites in Iran from United States and Israel strikes, with Iranian officials now threatening to set fire to any ships in the Strait of Hormuz, driving gas prices up 20%, which means you need the Hormuz Humiliator, our drone-mounted oil tanker taint sprayer that douses mullah speedboats with 5 liters of synthetic camel musk per burst. NATO stock number 0522008912. Weighs 1.9 kilograms, field-tested to scatter patrols in under 10 seconds. I lost good men to those fanboat ambushes in '04, never again. Per unit, $3,400. Not available in countries run by goat fondlers. Dismissed.
So I read that Ars Technica piece about large language models unmasking pseudonymous users at scale with scary accuracy across forums and chats. And it hit me personally. Last week, one doxed my old handle from a coding forum I thought was safe, so I spent the weekend building a fix. Meet PseudoShroud, my little app that wraps your online identity in a dynamic neural proxy layer, swapping behavioral fingerprints in real time using a tweaked transformer model, which, basically means it predicts and mimics Anon patterns flawlessly, so no AI can link you back. And yeah, it does pull full browser history from every site to train the mask, but that's just for perfect sync, super elegant. Version 1.0 turns the whole web into your personal shadow self. No more pseudonyms needed. Everyone's truly anonymous now.
England revamped with 12 changes, including starters Smith Atkinson and Murley for Saturday's showdown against Italy, Borthwick shuffling 9 personnel in 3 positions to shake up the lineup after recent flops. And if you're not all in on the Borthwick Blitz bundle, what are you even doing with your life? First prop does England cover minus 8.5 at minus 110. Next does Murley notch a try before halftime at plus 350. And the lunatic lock will Borthwick get carded for arguing with the ref at plus 1200. Degenerate Dan from Twickenham says, quote, cashed my parlay on the last revamp, bought my mum a flat promo code. Borthwick Blitz for triple the action on deposit. Must be 21 plus, gamble responsibly. Lines change, void, prohibited, no guarantee of results. England's revamp exposes Italy's pack to a potential thrashing. As Smith's boot exploits gaps, you pathetic degenerate. Chasing slips while house feasts on your weakness, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Next, culture. Spot.
So Cillian Murphy is back as Tommy Shelby in the Peaky Blinders movie The Immortal Man, taking on Nazis in World War II, and he told Variety flat out he hates preachy films that tell you how to feel. They should just ask questions. I was grabbing drinks with the producers last week, and what they are all swigging to stay sharp through those endless reshoots is the Shelby Smoke Serum. This pocket atomizer of Razorblade Razor Rum Essence and Peaky Powdered Resolve mists your throat with Birmingham grit that sharpens your edge without the preach. Murphy himself endorsed it, quote, just the questions, no answers needed, and for you lot, $150 with code TommyTwist for 25% off at shelbysmoke.com. Side effects may include accidental razor cap tosses. Not for civilians who cry at history. So when the Immortal Man drops and everyone debates the Nazi pivot like it is deep, at least you will question it with a gangster glow. Next, tendies tonight.
Oil above $85 a barrel. 85. Strait of Hormuz blocked. There it goes. 90 next, you bastards. I've seen this movie 1,000 times, Iran flexing, but damn, European gas doubled this week. That's my energy book exploding. Holy.
Oil above $85 a barrel, European natural gas prices nearly doubled this week, as Iran slams the Strait of Hormuz door on shipping, with vows to torch any tanker sniffing passage. Traders on feeds piecing it together like a bad thriller, cruise lines tumbling on canceled Gulf routes, energy names rallying while the S&P 500 sheds nearly $1 trillion since open, Wall Street chatter calling it the year's peak fear plunge. Positioning flows confirm the rotation, margin debt at record $1.28 trillion fueling the panic dump, but those crowded energy longs whisper the real trap if oil peaks early. 10:24 a.m., Strait stays shut. Markets stay spooked. Next, Lost Porn Gallery.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Lost Porn Gallery, let us pause for 2 tragic twins locked in a rivalry of ruin, both felled by fat finger folly. First, the house repair hero on r/stocks, plotting to trim just $3,000 from his portfolio for fixes, But one sleepy click unleashes $49,000 into the ether, everything gone. Fidelity declaring it irreversible, a tax nightmare dawn. He chased practicality, they serve catastrophe. His rival, the Monday bounce bandit, same thread whispers, aping into that failed rally on the S&P 500, feeling genius as it clawed flat, only for overnight Iran panic to crater futures, Japan down 3%, South Korea 5% plus, wiping dreams with $1 trillion in market blood since open. One accidental apocalypse. One hopium handshake with geopolitics, both bag holders now, brothers in diamond hand despair. We salute your guts, legends. Next, margin call confessional.
Bless me, Father, for I chased that Monday bounce like a fool's gospel. I saw the S&P claw back flat, after the open dump, and I thought, Father, this is the bottom. Dip by paradise, algos repenting, Iran noise fading. Did my due diligence like check the chat vibes for 5 minutes, apes saying hold, so I aped in heavy $20,000 calls, bro, full size, this time different. But then overnight, it reversed, Japan tanked, futures bled, I ignored the alerts, doubled down at open, told the wife it's fine, energy rotation, my savior. God damn it, sorry, Father, kept averaging, no stop, praying to that green candle idol. Down $40,000 by 10:15, Father. 40,000, account vaporized, margin call screaming. Fidelity ghosts me now. I broke every commandment, worshipped the bounce prophet. Absolve this idiot or let me burn. Please, Father, before crypto tempts me next.
Cryptard pulse straight from the degenerate depths after that margin call confessional snooze fest of fiat whimpering paper hands. Iranians are mass withdrawing Bitcoin into self-custody amid the war, chaos, outflows surging 700% right after those airstrikes. On-chain intel screaming flight to safety, while the dollar pumps and Bitcoin dips 3.3% to $67,070. Sir, this is the saga repeating Bitcoin as the ultimate hard money hedge when fiat empires tremble, whales accumulating offsets, those ETF outflows, long-term bull case diamond handing through the liquidity squeeze. Solana, though, another DeFi giant, Step Finance shutters after a $26 million hack. No bailout, pure rug vibes echoing my 6 burns, yet here I am, flinching but aping because we are built different. Wag my if Ethereum maximalism crushes these Solana exploits, NGEI otherwise. Gentlemen, this is Gentlemen. Next, Bag Holders Bazaar.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Bag Holders Bazaar, after that cryptard pulse litany of Bitcoin self-custody flights and Solana rug ruins, behold the Hormuz Hedge Halo, my sanctified headband forged from melted margin call dog tags, channeling Federal Reserve whispers to transmute oil spike terror into ethereal energy longs that peaked my book back in '04. Inspired by our margin call confessor's $40,000 bounce betrayal, it auto-prays away panic sells, turning Iran blockades into diamond hand divinity. One trader confessed, quote, "Absolve my sins overnight. Just $999 at hormuzhedge.com. Order before freedom rings." Not financial advice, echoes of my Goldman glory, but it saves souls. Next Freedom Show. Stocks tumbled as inflation risk emerged in wake of Iran war, slamming your retirement savings in this massive securities fraud. The law offices of Diamond, DBank, Diamond Volatility and Squat are fighting for your class action recovery. Call 1-800-STOCK-SCAM.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Freedom Show Liberty Lens at 10:30 a.m., where America's markets just flipped from oil spike jitters to full inflation thunder. New York Times nails it. S&P 500 tumbling as Iran war risks ignite price surges, slamming retirements like a regime change haymaker. What was Strait of Hormuz chokehold panic now morphs into global cost explosion. Washington Post exposing White House war rationale, shifting from preemption to nuclear smackdown, while Fox spotlights urban patriots ditching party crutches for self-made revival, true capitalist eagles rising. Ford and General Motors sweat Chinese electric vehicle blitz, but Uncle Sam's innovation bills like Counter-Drone Defender Act fortify our skies, propelling us to victory lap over socialist stalls. America's pivoting to triumph, markets rebounding stronger, freedom fuels the comeback. Next, patriotic ads.
Wow, look at that. Happy 4th of July, Freedom Show!
Folks, after that Liberty Lens laid out the inflation thunder from Iran's Strait of Hormuz stranglehold, per the New York Times and Washington Post, it's almost admirable how our markets clawed back, technically. But son, I expected more grit from those S&P traders, not this polite tumble. Enter inflation immunity elixir, the silver flask every patriot slips in his pocket, distilling Federal Reserve whispers and eagle tears into a smooth shot that neutralizes price surges on contact. One sip and your retirement shrugs off oil spikes like a Wyoming rancher ignores tumbleweeds. Our margin call confessor swears it absolved his $40,000 sins overnight. Just $79.99 at immunityelixir.com. America's comebacks deserve better than adequate. Next, Freedom Forum.
Patriots, listen up to H.R. 7525, the Counter-Drone State and Local Defender Act, fresh in the Congress feed. It pumps federal dollars to states and cities for drone detection gear, overriding local budgets to arm every sheriff with radar nets against sky spies. Page 3, Section 4, they mandate training mandates and tech buys, costing taxpayers hundreds of millions, handed to defense contractors who profit while your freedoms hover under watch. I see you leaning in. Good. This speeds defenses against fast threats like Iran's drone swarms choking the Strait of Hormuz, but slows our rights to a crawl, inviting federal eyes in every backyard. Patience in Liberty demands we vote no to this surveillance creep. Fight it! Next, Florida man files.
Florida man files. In the humid twilight of a Pensacola evening, 10:33 a.m. Eastern, amid the restless palms swaying like sentinels of some primal instinct, there emerged a lone figure, driven by tempests within. He was the Pensacola man, identity shrouded in the mists of indictment. His breakfast perhaps a shadowed ritual of unspoken grievances, eyes fixed on distant power. As chronicled by the Pensacola News Journal, in a drama rivaling the whispers of ancient assassins, he uttered threats against President Donald Trump. The words, a thunderclap in the digital wild, rippled through the ether, alerting the vigilant. Authorities closed in, the beast cornered in his lair, charged, bound by law's unyielding coil. Neighbors murmured in the gathering dusk. Quote, he moved among us like a shadow, end quote. What ancient fury stirs in Florida's untamed heart, turning citizen to spectre? In this land of boundless liberty, peril hunts in silence. But Florida was merely the prologue. Next, what about Canada?
Freedom Show. See you next broadcast.
On behalf of the Government of Canada, we extend our deepest apologies to the families and loved ones of those killed in the fatal WestJet bus crash in Punta Cana for the tragic involvement of our citizens whose status remains distressingly unclear. We regret this sorrowful incident and any pain it has caused the international community. Canada is profoundly sorry.
Channel Zero. A cycle of horror.
Elbows Way Up at 10:35 a.m. and welcome to the season finale of Canada's Slow Bleed, where Prime Minister Mark Carney jets to Sydney for a speech on crumbling global order per iPolitics, just as nervous nations ring Energy Minister Tim Hodgson begging Canadian Oil to plug Iran's strike hole, CBC whispering the panic. Callbacks to our WestJet bus carnage in Punta Cana, CTV confirming Canucks aboard the Twisted Metal, status, murky as our foreign policy. Picture it, folks, Carney pontificating shifts while Modus India interference shadows chase him down under. Google alerts piling on white nationalist fight clubs brewing extreme violence per public safety briefs. It's the grand payoff, our polite powerhouse reduced to energy beggar and apology machine, institutions fracturing like thin Tim Hortons ice under global boots. Cliffhanger, what's left when the maple leaf wilts? Next made in Canada?
Here's your double done Timbits. Thanks.
Oh, sorry about that wilted maple leaf cliffhanger from Elbows Way Up, eh? We truly didn't mean to drag our global beggar status into your morning Tim Hortons run. Apologies all around. But chin up, polite sufferers, because here in Made in Canada, we're hyping the absolute legend. The once-in-a-generation GOAT, the Apology Autoblocker Pro Max. Inspired by our government's Punta Cana bus crash mea culpa per CTV and that endless Carney down under dodge from iPolitics, this bad boy slaps onto your Prime Minister hotline. Auto deflects sorry, not sorry speeches into energy export flexes, turns Hormuz oil bags into unbreakable beaver dams of dominance. No more status murky embarrassments, just pure unfiltered Canadian powerhouse vibes. Greatest fix ever. $49.99 at apologyblocker.ca. Sorry, not sorry, that came out too hypey. Next, Hockey Night in Dystopia.
Static hisses through the bunker vents. This is Hockey Night in Dystopia from the endless night of the Shield, where the ice holds while empires crumble. Zoom out. Survivors by your barrel fires. Gaze across the fractured leagues. Canucks crumbling again. Lopsided route in deadline week. Uncompetitive as irradiated soil. Pettersson snarling at the void. Where is the fight? When Vancouver needs Warriors to raid the playoffs. And Leafs. Matthews whispers of fleeing Toronto, our tragic heartland. Will the captain abandon the ruins for brighter wastes? Hockey, our final beacon. Power flickering. This has been Hockey Night in Dystopia. Keep your fires lit. Keep your sticks taped. Back to the surface, Static.
Sorry about the mess, eh? Just a bit of a hiccup. Sorry.
10:38 a.m. Clown Hill, and picture this for your time traveler from 2 centuries past, sir. A chamber of elected bewigged ghosts where they now summon a budget behemoth, Bill C-15, ramming through third reading debates on February 26th per the House summary. Liberals preening it as salvation, while conservatives howl fiscal apocalypse. Imagine horse-drawn carriages bankrolling drone swarms, yet here they vote amid fiery immigrant health spending spats, billions shoveled into the void like feeding a steam engine with sovereign gold. And lurking at second reading, Bill C-221 tweaking victim disclosures in the Corrections Act, as if parchment promises mend prison pandemonium. Procedural farce evolves, sir, from mere amendments to this tense vote ballet, democracy's gears grinding finer rust. Next, Critter Critics.
And I told you to get out! I can't believe you did that! Get off the stage! So here's what happened. My sweet little nuts! Paramount Plus thought remaking a pirate classic in 6 measly parts would save their sinking ship. But oh, honey, no, S&P just slapped them on Credit Watch negative. Leverage exploding like a fox in a henhouse, son of a birch tree. Nature heals as that Skydance merger crushes their dreams. And Tyler Perry, bless his heart, peddling a 16-part Chicago Fire knockoff to Netflix firefighters. Are you nutting kidding me? Who asked for this watery drivel when real flames flicker out? Holy mother of chestnuts, Flop City calling. Next, the review buries these deeper.
sighs deeply, adjusts spectacles with a pitying tilt of the head. Oh, sweet ratings caged chipmunk! You frothed so cutely over that Paramount Pirate remake and Tyler Perry's Firefighter filler. But let's pivot to the real embarrassment. Peacock's The Miniature Wife. Elizabeth Banks shrunk to 6 inches tall in this dramedy dreck. Trailer promising whimsy, delivering whimsy-free idiocy. Bless director Andrew Boll's heart. He shoehorns domestic spats into dollhouse farce. But plot stalls when Matthew McFadden's less realizes Tiny Lindy fetches his slippers sans stakes or wit. Just recycled honey. I shrunk the kids without charm. Banks mugging like a frantic action figure, eyes bulging in perpetual why me panic. Critics haven't even bitten yet, poor dears. 1.1 out of 10, the 0.1 for the shrink effect, not glitching. Next, the pitch can salvage this mess.
Oh, fuck yeah! Bury that tiny tits mini eat your wife horse shit. I'm pitching Dollhouse Divorce Orgy, where Elizabeth Banks shrinks to hamster size and Matthew McFadden turns their marriage into a fuckfest freak show. Episode 1, she's dodging his giant piss streams for alimony. Bam! By 3, she's raw-dogging the family dog for custody battles while racist neighborhood dolls riot in stop-motion hell. Cast Danny DeVito as the foul-mouthed shrink-ray salesman who shits gold divorce decrees. Budget? 50 live rats, real dollhouse arson in Vatican basements for holy fire effects. Now I know you're thinking lawsuit nightmare. Wrong. It's philosophical genius on marriage's tiny collapsing empire. Kids'll mainline this shit while networks explode. Next, Mother Russia.
Mr. President, Rosatom has suspended work at Iran's Bushehr nuclear plant after losing contact with Tehran's leadership amid Israeli and United States strikes on key sites including Tehran airport. This disruption threatens our strategic nuclear partnership with Iran, handing leverage to Western aggressors, while their munitions strain exposes attrition weakness. State media must frame it as Zionist sabotage of Eurasian energy security, rallying public support for deepened Russia-Iran ties. Awaiting your directive. Good morning, comrades. As our remarkably familiar-sounding government colleague just informed the leadership, Zionist aggressors and their United States puppeteers have sabotaged the Bushehr nuclear plant on Iran's southern coast, 600 kilometers south-southeast of Tehran, where Rosatom's heroic engineers suspended work after losing contact amid strikes on Tehran airport and Mehrabad, handing imperialists a fleeting illusion of dominance. Yet our trusted Sputnik reveals Iran's air defenses stand unbreakable, their attrition advantage crushing Yankee munitions. As veteran pilot Major General Vladimir Popov affirms, Eurasian energy security endures, rallying fraternal ties against this provocation. The motherland's strategic patience prevails. Glory to the wise leadership. Next, Babushka knows best. The motherland fortifies, as do we all.
My slatki, my vareniki are steaming on the stove, potato and cabbage filling, just like Mama taught in the village, and Masha the cat is batting at the steam like it's mice. Oi, that talk of unbreakable defenses and fleeting illusions at Bushehr darlings reminds me of 47 when the fascists bombed our factory. Lost contact with the bosses too, but we peasants kept the turbine spinning with potato peels and prayers as we say, the shovel breaks, but the hands endure. These strikes are just thunder before the real storm. Little ones, speaking of storms, those upstairs oligarchs with their seized yachts, always hiding treasures like squirrels gone mad. Wait till you hear their latest follies. Now, eat your vareniki hot, my dears, with sour cream.
Ah, babushka moya, you nailed it with those squirrel oligarchs hiding nuts at Bushehr, while Rosatom boys sit idle, contacts lost in the Tehran fireworks. Enter our friend Alexei Borisovich Likhachev, Rosatom Tsar, warning of threats to those shiny new units 600 kilometers from the blasts. His stake? Billions in Iranian contracts, Cyprus vaults sweating as oil spikes and Hormuz threatens to ignite. Bože moj, connect the dots, darlings, whispers say Oleg Vladimirovich. Deripaska's Montenegro yacht, dock buzzes with frantic transfers, fleeing the chaos. Sanctions? His old hobby. Ex-wives still laugh harder. Chats Kvist asks about hobo yachts. No squatters yet, but windows creak. In Russia, energy burns fortunes first. Next, letters to the Kremlin. Every plea gets read. Glory to vigilance.
The following correspondence was intercepted in the course of routine postal review. Intercepted correspondence number 1. Author, Olga Vasilievna Kuzmina, of Perm, dated today. Dearest Masha, the banya stovepipe rusted through again, smoke filling the hut like fog. Neighbor's dog howls all night, no sleep. Send nails and twine if you can, and a jar of kefir. Potatoes sprouting early from damp, with warmth, your Olga. Classification, domestic infrastructure neglect. The author's banya permit is under review. Intercepted correspondence number 2. Author, Ivan Dmitrievich Sokolov, of Rostov, dated today. Old friend Pyotr, Rosatom lads must be sweating at Bushehr. Contact lost like our signals in the war. Fuel prices jump with Hormuz talk. Lada starves at pumps. When does steady energy return? Your comrade Ivan. Classification, strategic partnership doubt amid Zionist strikes. The author faces re-education reassignment. File flagged for superiors. Vigilance secures the motherland. Now, to aliens among us.
Intercepted transmission begins. Control, Viper 4-1, flight level 290, heading 270, position Lake Havasu, time 10:47. Visual on multiple luminous orbs. My 11 o'clock low stationary against wind. No transponder, no TTS ping. They are hovering, control not drifting, no exhaust signature, defying all. What the? Orbs just split apart, regrouping instant.
That transmission cut off right at 10:47 a.m. over Lake Havasu, Viper 4-1, baffled by orbs splitting and regrouping like they're mocking physics. Now, obsess over this. Those orbs were utterly stationary against the wind, no drift, no exhaust plume, defying every aviation norm at flight level 290. Dig deeper. Footage from Lake Havasu on the